All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going to tackle a super common problem in cloud architecture. How do you let users download big files without totally wrecking your backend? We're talking about a really elegant solution called the direct handshake using S3 pre-signed URLs.
But first, let's talk about this. I'm sure you've seen it before. The dreaded 502 bad gateway. It's that horrible feeling you get when you know your perfectly designed, modern system has just given up. It's a sign that somewhere in the chain, something is very, very wrong.
And that brings us to Timothy, a junior engineer who's having a really bad day. He did everything right, he built a decoupled, scalable system, but right now it's just choking. He's staring at that 502 error, and his frustration is really the start of our whole story. So let's dig into this frustrating error, because this is a classic example of when a good architecture does a very bad thing. It's an anti-pattern, really. You have all the right pieces on the board, but you've arranged them in a way that's guaranteed to fail. Okay, so what is Timothy actually trying to do? The goal seems simple enough, right? He just wants to let customers download a high-res PDF manual. So the user clicks a download button, that hits his API, a Lambda function kicks off, it goes and grabs a 15-megabyte PDF from a private S3 bucket, and then it tries to push that entire huge file back through the API gateway to the user. And the result? Complete and utter failure. Timeouts, errors, and one very frustrated developer.
So what's really the problem here? Well, it all boils down to using the wrong tool for the job. And I absolutely love this analogy. It's like using a sports car to haul a tractor. It just perfectly sums up the core issue.
Let's put some numbers to this. The file we're trying to move is 15 megabytes. Now, you might think, 15 megs isn't that big. And you're right, for your laptop, it's nothing. But for a lightweight, serverless API, it is an absolute monster. And here is the smoking gun. API Gateway has a hard limit, a physical constraint. It cannot, under any circumstances, handle a data payload bigger than 10 megabytes. So Timothy's trying to force a 15 megabyte object through a 10 megabyte hole. It was never going to work. And this is where Margaret, our senior engineer, comes in with that brilliant piece of wisdom. She says, you're using a sports car to haul a tractor. API Gateway and Lambda, they are the sports car. They are built to be incredibly fast and agile for small, lightweight JSON payloads. They are not a semi-truck built to haul a massive 15-megabyte tractor of a binary file. It's just the wrong tool. So what's the right way to do this? Well, the solution is called the direct handshake, and honestly, it's so clever and elegant. It's all about completely bypassing the bottleneck, but doing it in a totally secure way. The magic component here is something called an S3 pre-signed URL. So the textbook definition is that it's a way to grant temporary, time-limited access to a specific file in a private bucket, and the user doesn't need any AWS credentials. Okay, that's the technical version. But Margaret's explanation is so much better. Forget the jargon. Think of your Lambda function as a trusted security guard or a bouncer at an exclusive club. It uses its own secure credentials, its IAM role, to create a temporary cryptographic VIP pass for the user. With this special pass, the user can walk right past the API gateway bottleneck and go directly to S3 to get the file themselves. And when we put this VIP pass idea into action, we get a beautiful new architecture called the offloading pattern. Let's check out how this completely changes the entire flow. So here's the new and improved flow. Step 1 is the same. The browser asks the API for the file. But here's where everything changes. The Lambda function doesn't fetch the file anymore. Nope. It just checks if the user is allowed to have it. And if they are, it generates that special signed URL, that VIP pass. Then API Gateway sends back just the URL. It's a tiny little piece of text, maybe 200 bytes. And finally, the user's browser takes that URL and downloads the 15 megabyte file directly from S3. Our API is no longer in the business of moving heavy data. And the difference this makes is it's night and day. Just look at this. The API payload goes from a system crashing 15 megabytes down to about 200 bytes. The time it takes goes from 30 seconds or more, basically a timeout, to less than a second. And my favorite part is that the Lambda function gets a promotion. It goes from being a slow, clunky data mover to being a lightning-fast authorizer and signer. This isn't just a small optimization, it's a complete transformation.
So let's just quickly sum up why this pattern is so incredibly powerful. It all comes down to these three things. It's secure, it's fast, and it's temporary.
The real beauty here is the amount of control you get. First, it's totally secure. That URL is signed with your backend's trusted credentials. Second, it's temporary. You can make that link expire in, say, 5 minutes, and after that, it's just a dead link. S3 will just deny access. You can even control the user experience, like adding a flag that tells the browser to download the file instead of trying to open it. And get this, the same exact pattern works in reverse for uploads. You can generate a special link that lets a user upload a huge file directly and securely to your S3 bucket. It's just an incredibly versatile tool to have in your back pocket.
And this really brings us to the final big idea. This pattern, it's not just about S3 or file downloads. It's a whole way of thinking about system design. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Where else in your architecture are you using a sports car to haul a tractor? Where are you misusing a fast, lightweight tool for a slow, heavy lifting job? If you can find those spots, you'll uncover some amazing opportunities to make your systems better.